Good morning, Acadiana, and welcome to another edition of Morning Coffee with Big Al
and Special T.
We're happy to be coming to you from Cypress Street Radio, AOC Community Media's streaming broadcast.
Look for us every morning of the week. Our 8 a.m. show will start your morning off right. That's right in a good way.
Not right as in radical right. We bring you good ideas, good pastimes, and who knows what else.
With a progressive flair. Our 7 p.m. stream is a great backdrop for some decaf and peace of mind. So either way, get your beverage of choice, whether it's stronger or weaker. It could be coffee, tea, Crown, water, ginger beer, whatever you like. Yeah, get that and sit back and enjoy the show. Merry Christmas.
Good idea. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, Merry holiday, Happy Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa,
holidays,
Happy Hanukkah, all those things. Passover, I think that's during Easter.
I think there's 22 or 23 different things celebrating.
Yeah.
Even though I guess we're having I don't know if it's official yet, if it's been officially declared, but I wonder if we're having a official war on saying Merry Christmas this year. I haven't heard too much about that yet, but or not being able to say Merry Christmas, I guess.
I think there's a general encouragement to say Happy Holidays because it includes everything, which is okay. But, a Christmas tree is a Christmas tree, I think.
This is America.
But you can, and it's like the winter equinox, yeah? And it used to be like a pagan holiday.
Okay. Now, I'm going to have to stop you right there.
Why?
It's not an equinox. This is what I was thinking the other day when you said this. It's a solstice.
Solstice.
Yeah.
So I got the opposite thing or something?
Yeah, the equinoxes are at the spring and the fall.
Okay, and so this is the winter and the summer is the solstice.
Well, right, exactly.
Man, I got my year all mixed up. No wonder I'm, being late for things and missing appointments.
I'll do it. Getting those.
I'm in the spring and summer. The spring and fall. Everybody else is in the winter and summer. It's kind of a crazy year.
I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm
glad you looked it up.
Well, I did because I was thinking, and I couldn't, solstice, it was just escaping me, for some reason.
Yeah.
I was thinking, no, it's not because the equinox, that somehow is derived from the equal parts of day and night, when night and day are equal. So
right. Now it's like extreme difference.
Right. It's the days are short and the nights are long.
Yeah, all of you out there that want to increase your vocabulary, now you've learned, some new definitions to use.
Yeah.
Which I did not do. Which is what we learned last time.
I'm sure you knew it, but it's like, because I just couldn't think of it at the time, but I was thinking something. I don't think this is an equinox.
Yeah.
But,
and that makes sense. Equal time, equinox. So
exactly.
You do that thing in your head. And solstice, I don't know what
I'm not sure. I haven't
about that.
Looked up the derivation on that or anything, but I'm sure it's from
some sort of
Latin or something like that. But
I did the same thing this morning with a financial term. I was talking about like the differences between one currency and another, and I was like exchange. But it's conversion. You do the conversion between one and the other to change it to be alike. Exchange is actually just changing the money, But actually doing the calculation is a conversion.
I never really made much of a distinction on that. Was thinking about the exchange rate.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess it is a conversion.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't see
one of them financial things to have to deal with.
Yeah, Yeah,
Well, I had some excitement this morning before we got on radio.
Oh, really?
I had a war between the cats and the dogs, or the dog.
Yeah.
One dog, 3 cats. And all of a sudden I was talking on the phone and it was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be flying fur.
Yeah.
We know it. And I was right in the middle. The cat was growling and the dog was like barking. And it's just like, oh, Lord, we're in for a...
Well, as long as your cat wasn't barking, I mean, that's a good thing.
I don't know what she would have done.
Then you might have to suspect some
spitting,
demonic
growling.
possession.
And when I would pet her, she'd spit. And then when I wouldn't, she'd growl. So it was crazy.
Well, it is that holiday time of year. So
I think family members are prone to have their little outbursts too during this time of year. Some of them. Hopefully not too many. Hopefully everybody will have peace around the table.
There's a guy, and I think I've told you about him before, who's one of our co-broadcasters on YouTube.
Okay.
Except he probably does a little more. He probably has a few more fans than we do. But
really? Who is this? Paul and Jacob.
Bo of the Fifth Column. I mean, this guy is really good.
Okay.
I mean, he's not
on AOC.
No, he's not on AOC. He's just on YouTube.
So he's like syndicated?
Well, I don't think, I mean, he just does his own show. I mean, you can do that. Some people make a fair amount of money.
Yeah, if they get enough viewers.
Right, exactly. Because of the advertisement, or they might have Patreon communities and stuff like that, where people pay to, you can pay
subscribe?
Well, I mean, it's like if somebody wanted to subscribe to our show, I mean, we could create a Patreon deal and they could pay $3 a month or $5 a month.
Well, actually, I think that's forbidden in AOC. We can't.
Oh, it might be. It very well might be.
We would be ousted by like the scruff of our necks and thrown out the door, because that is very much not allowed. This is a totally non-profit, no advertising type of a venue.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I guess I hadn't even thought about that, because sometimes, I mean, if an advertisement comes up, I just wait for the 5 seconds to click out of it, if possible.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't think I've ever seen ads come up with our show. So,
Hey, I still think you're in the wrong season. You need to have something greener or grayer or bluer behind you.
How about something with snow or something like that?
Yeah, something with, well, I don't think we're going to have any snow this year. Not here.
Well, it's
but yes, last year was crazy. But that was in February, January.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's still kind of, well, we're still technically in autumn, I think. So
yeah, not until the 22nd of December, I think, starts.
21st, I think, this
21st of December starts winter.
Yeah, I think that's.
So how far away are we? Like 2 days?
Oh, a few days. And by the time people see, well, I mean, they may be seeing this tomorrow, which I guess if you don't know when today is, then tomorrow.
19th.
Yeah.
18th, it's still fall.
Yeah.
But only 3 days, and you're going to be in the beginnings of winter.
Yeah, I think it'll be, I don't know if it's already up to 80 today here, but.
Yeah, all of you that are in the real snow country, eat your heart out. Actually, my okra is blooming again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's got flowers all over it. It's crazy.
Wow. That's does.
I need to take a picture of it. I mean, it's really bizarre. It's got blooms everywhere.
But I mean, it's not likely that it'll actually
I don't know
producing
if
more
this
okra.
lasts, a few weeks. It very well could, because it's still got some little buds on it. I mean, the start of little okras. So it's Louisiana for you.
Yeah,
My eggplant is dead. My cabbage are starting to grow, and my white radishes and beets are looking good. I need to plant some more so I can last the season before it starts bolting or something,
Oh, yeah?
I think so. I think it'd be good to plant some more in another bed. But I need to clean house first.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I'm my autumn wonderland here.
Yeah, I am going to take a little respite from Louisiana, and so the cat sitter will be coming in, and I think I've got all my supplies ready, but I want it to be where there's not going to be anything broken when I come back home like there was this last time.
Yeah.
I mean, they knocked over my my KRVS, one of my favorite KRVS coffee cups. Yes. I glued it back together, so now it's going to be a planter.
Okay. Well,
it's got like some creases in it and a few places missing because most of it was big pieces, but there was one piece that absolutely shattered.
yeah, well, in Japan, I think that's a big deal. When you have something like a cup or a vase or maybe even a vase, which is kind of like a vase except shorter, I think, or maybe it's longer since it's a long.
I think it's la-di-da. I think that's the only difference.
But but they put stuff back together with gold. I'm not sure. Yeah,
where you accentuate the faults.
Right.
That's what I need to do in the floor of my house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a place that is a stress point, but it's not a cracked slab. I've had the foundation guy look at it, and he says this hasn't moved. It's not cracked. It's just a stress line. And Sally was saying I should fill it with gold. That there's this form of art that you accentuate the irregularities of something.
Yeah.
And make it a focal point instead of something that people think is something wrong with it. It's really not.
Yeah, it would be.
It might up the value in somebody that really knows something about something, but
that and just the price of gold per ounce. It's about $1,800 an ounce. It might take a few ounces to do that, but
I think so. And there, depends on how deep the holes are.
Oh yeah.
And it's pretty thick. It's a thick foundation. It's like 16 inches at least, and the most shallow part would be 16 inches, which is at least 2 inches more than everybody else in the neighborhood.
No, that's
it's a good,
that's very
darn
thick.
Good house.
That's very thick if it's that thick.
It is. That was one of my stipulations when I built here. I said I want a 16-inch foundation.
Huh. What?
Now next to me is like a 10-inch foundation.
Well, even 10 inches is. I mean, that's pretty thick for a slab.
I don't know. I've heard, that. Something.
You've heard that's standard, huh?
Like, I've heard that like 14, 12 is. I've heard that 12 is.
I don't think so. But, I would be surprised if it was, but, I could be mistaken.
Why don't you look that up too?
I'll take that under advisement.
Yeah. I'm going to, we're going to have a foundation guy come over in the new year to look at some stuff. And while they're here looking at the stuff, we're gonna break out some good bottle of wine and just have a lot of conversation and stuff.
That sounds good.
That's like really getting the sommelier to invite you over for dinner.
Yeah.
After you make sure that he partakes in a lot of what he's talking about.
Well, I remember seeing that, and the it could be probably patched to where it wouldn't be even noticeable, I would think. But because not being a structural problem, that's it makes it, I guess, really kind of insignificant if somebody understands that.
Yeah, it's true. But the thing is, it's stained, and then you'd have to try and match the stain. And
right. It would have to be. That would have to be.
Bother.
Yeah, that's true too. But so what's new and improved today?
Let me think. So many things are kind of, wrapping up. We do have Monkus Park that opened up last night, Party in the Park for Christmas in the Park.
Oh, really?
You can find some little things about it where people posted going there. Last night, there were like some music and stuff, and it continues, I think, for the next 4 or 5 days.
12 days.
Through the weekend for sure. And they have the Christmas trees downtown in Park International.
Okay,
and that's nice. They got like crafts and things for the kids, and I think Santa comes at a certain time. And I don't know if they've decorated the windows downtown, and then it's always fun to go through the East and West Bayou Parkway and look at the.
Oh yeah,
houses are all decorated. That's an old standard for people that are my age, at least. That used to be the big highlight, is you just drive around and look at the lights. It didn't cost anything except the gas. So maybe you should go on your bicycle. Just watch out for the crazies who don't watch where they're going, and they might hit you. Yeah,
because they're watching lights.
Exactly. So when I was riding my bike in places that were dangerous, I just ride through people's yards. It was well out of the way of the road.
Yeah.
And, there usually wasn't anything to worry about, I guess, unless they had a mean dog in the front yard, which they're not supposed to have.
Yeah.
Not on a leash.
Yeah. I can remember riding around looking at Christmas lights.
On your bicycle?
No, not on my bicycle. Never on my bike. Always in a car.
With your family when you were a little kid?
Yeah. And I had a little recorder. I may have told you this already, but
I don't think so.
I had a little, like a mini. It was about. Let's see if we can get it on my hand. Yeah, about that big.
The size of a business card?
Yeah, right. It was a micro recorder.
Okay.
And I had, before we went, I had made a recording of oohs and ahs, so I could just play my recorder.
You should bring that to the 4th of July too.
Well, I don't even know where that little recorder is. I mean, it seemed like it had one AAA battery that ran the whole thing. I mean, it was literally probably smaller than a business card as far as the, those two dimensions. But
did you record the oohs and ahs off like a television show, or did you?
No, I made them myself. I mean, they were genuine. So it sounded like me. I could just press. Funny. I could just press play, and
Did your parents laugh when they hear that?
Well, this was with my. I think this was with, I don't know, maybe either or both of my previous wives and kids and stuff
How many
like
you
that.
got?
But
Al, how many you got? How many did you have?
just a couple.
Just a couple, okay.
Yeah, but it was kind of amusing. It kind of makes me wonder where that it's a neat little recorder, but
maybe you'll have to get back in touch with those gals and see if anyone still have it. So you can
yeah, I don't even. I mean,
show and if something that really interesting happens, they go ooh, wow. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I always thought that was kind of funny, because but sometimes people do put on a nice display, but it's kind of, it's funny, it brings back memories of Dallas when I used to live in Dallas 60 years ago, and some of the places that, just had really elaborate Christmas decorations.
They become well known, the places that do that. Like in Scott, they have techno on Westgate, and it's actually synchronized with a station that you can listen to and on the radio, regular radio. Yeah. They give you the call letters. You go there, and the lights are flashing and changing in time to the music, which is pretty cool. That's on Westgate. On the west side of Westgate, close to between Olive Vista and Old Spanish Trail. And you can park across the street, play your radio, and watch the lights. And with that, I'm wondering if we're about ready for a little break where we can just mull over who we're going to bring with us to park our car. We used to do that with going to the airline, to the airport and watch the planes take off.
Yeah.
That used to be another one of those freebies that you could do. So,
so did
Christmas lights, airplanes, and window shopping.
Yeah, I think
free entertainments that you can put on your list on a shoestring budget.
Yeah, kind of like watching the Jets land on Wayne's World or something.
That's That's a movie?
Yeah.
A TV show?
No, Wayne. It's
a
two movies. Actually, they made two movies, and that was I believe that was one of the little things they did in one of them. But
okay. All right.
I was just thinking about the dialogue, but where
I don't know anything about that. I don't have television, and
you never saw Wayne's World.
Never saw Wayne's World. I guess I'll have to check it out at the library.
Well,
I'm educated like the rest of my generation.
Well, it's pretty funny. I mean, I think it's the second one.
Okay.
It's a lot of takeoff.
Oh, look at there.
There we go.
Yeah. I don't know. But
yeah, it's a lot of it is a big.
Now. I just had an angel come down and show me a visual of what Wayne's World looked like. Those guys look familiar. They must have had a commercial somewhere along the line.
Well,
you can borrow that copy.
Okay.
What is it? Mrs. Robinson. Some of it is a big takeoff on Mrs.
The Dustin Hoffman movie?
Right.
I saw that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a parody. Some of it is a parody of that, and it's pretty funny if you know that. And I guess it's pretty funny even if you don't. But if
sometimes I just do,
it's even funnier, I guess. Yeah.
Too many movies make me cry.
Yeah. Well, this one
I might cry.
Make you laugh.
I'm like, I'm so sad that we've devolved into this.
Well, this one is. I mean, it has. It has some pretty good parodies, I think. But
looking. Is that what he looks like normally?
I'm trying to think.
That's really interesting. Yeah, those guys look familiar. They must have done some commercials or something.
Oh, well, they've done. Mike Myers. I mean, you know Mike Myers. You've heard of Mike Myers, huh?
Well, who is he?
I think he was on Saturday Night Live. I mean,
I used to watch that.
Yeah, but
and Laughing.
Yeah, I don't think he was on Laugh-In, but.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to talk about Mike Myers later because I think we're going to take a break pretty soon.
Yeah, it's getting about time for a break, I think.
I need a break.
Yeah. Well,
ta-ta for now. Little Christmas
take a break and we'll
snow.
be back with all our fans here
I think I have some
after
snow
this word
movies that I can share of kids playing in the snow machine. How about that for some interesting footage?
Okay.
Bye, y'all. We'll be back soon.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Hey, Acadiana creators, thanks for clicking on us. A lot of you have hit us up asking, we know how to get our content onto YouTube. Anybody can do that, but how the heck do we get our content onto AOC? Well, good news, y'all. We're going to show you how to join the Cool Club today and put your videos on AOC. That's 2 more channels full of viewers that you could be sharing your content with. So without further ado, let's play Submit Content. All right, so I have my video file here. It's the same one I can upload to YouTube. Now I'm going to go to this address, aocinc.org, or you can just search for AOC Community Media on any search platform. Anyway, when we're there, we're going to go hover over Make Media, and then we're going to click Submit Programming. Pro tip, bookmark this page, put it right next to your YouTube bookmark, then you're good to go. Click that button. Select the file that you want to upload and hit the button. Now finish up the information form on the page you were previously on. Let's time lapse that. And click Submit. Now you're good to go. Now you'll be reaching your local community in a couple more ways and boosting your likes and subscribers on YouTube. Win-win. If you have any questions, you can put them down below in the comments or use old school comments by calling us or emailing us. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications with the little bell, and we will see you out there in Media Land.
So that's a fun little thing of some cute kids jumping around in the fake snow. And
yeah,
I don't know whether we have any helicopter scenes or not, but maybe. Have you ever been in a helicopter?
Oh yeah. I've the last time I think was when I was working at Lake Charles, and one of the offshore helicopter pilots took me for a ride, and it's pretty neat. You know, I mean, there a lot of, I mean, I don't know how it compares now to what it was back then, but there's
what year was it?
that would have been probably, I'd say roughly 30 years ago.
Okay. You don't know the year? Because I don't know the...
Oh, well, I would say, if I were guessing, I'd say, 91, something like that. That would be, it could be a little bit later than that, but that would probably be a fair guess for that, far back.
Well, I have a big story with my helicopter flight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was working in corporate, and we had just gotten one of those emails or memorandums that said not to accept any gifts from any of the contractors. That they just didn't want you taking anything, no gifts. And it was probably about a week or two later that one of our building contractors, because I was working at a construction site for a was a mine and a new power plant that was in the center of Texas for powering Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy came in that was like, I guess, the pilot and said, hey, does anybody want to go for a ride in a helicopter? And I'd never been in one. So I was like, I do. And so, you know, followed him out there. And I don't think I was the only person in the helicopter. Don't really recall. But anyway, we went up and we're like taking a view of the site. And the pilot decided he would hover over one of the stacks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the helicopter starts vibrating, right? Like significantly. And then it starts shooting out like pellets, like styrofoam out of the air conditioner. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. And they're going to find out that I accepted this gift from them. But we made it down and nothing happened. But that was the first thing that came in through my mind was I was maybe not supposed to be up there in the first place, and it might be my last day.
What was the deal with the air conditioning? Did you ever find out what the
I
deal
have
was?
no idea. It was just really creepy because it really started spitting out white stuff.
Interesting. Maybe that was ice or something.
Styrofoam or it wasn't cold. It was just
Really?
Yeah, it was like little tiny pellets of the things you pack with.
That's interesting. Yeah, you know, now that I was thinking about, you know, that we're talking about helicopters, actually, I think that there was a later time in Hawaii. I was over in Hawaii, and I was thinking about trading positions with the guy over there, and this was in Hilo, I believe, and there was a helicopter, you know, like a tourist helicopter service there where, you know, they take you for a 30-minute flight around the island, look at stuff and all that. But
now that's been thought to be kind of dangerous, isn't it? Like those little expeditions, like in Alaska and all, when you go into like balloons and planes and stuff, don't they have a lot of accidents?
I don't know. I don't think this particular one, I mean, I hadn't heard of any, you know, excessive amount of accidents or anything,
Yeah.
but it was a pretty neat flight. I mean, seeing the, you know, the volcanic activity and the lava flows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, but you know, see, now that is one thing you have to be aware of over there is with some of the volcanic activity, depending on what it is,
Right.
you have to be careful because you might be getting into an area where there's a reduced amount of oxygen. And,
I never thought of that.
yeah, well, there was a helicopter pilot or two that hadn't thought of it either. And and you know, the engine's not going to run without oxygen.
Got
Jet
you.
engine. And
Wow.
so it was, you know, obviously caused some problems. But
The only thing I would have thought of was if it like erupted while you were like above it, you know.
well, that would probably be bad too.
No joke.
But it was a neat flight, and there was one lava flow that went into the ocean there. And,
A lot of steam.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of steam. I think that magma, I think it's 1,500 degrees or something like that. I mean, it's pretty warm, but I don't know, helicopters I think are reasonably safe. They may not have as good of a record as fixed wing, but that I don't know. I haven't looked into it.
My brother was an airman on helicopters with the Coast Guard. And and this helicopter that Santa Claus came in over in Scott that we might have viewed a little bit of. It looked really old. So I think I'm going to send that to my brother and ask him if he knows anything about that particular helicopter. Because it was like all gray. It was almost like it was from World War II. I mean, it really looked like it. It looked like an old piece of machinery.
They didn't have too many helicopters in World War II, but
okay.
Maybe
not too
Vietnam.
far.
Maybe Korea, Vietnam, something like that. I mean,
Korea possibly would have been older. Yeah, possibly.
But no, they're pretty handy, and with the they're starting to do things now that fly like helicopters with multiple electric, battery powered electric motors turning propellers. That
wow.
It's pretty interesting
good.
stuff.
I mean, it'd be good to have everything running on batteries, I think, if we could.
Well,
except
I think
for
so.
What do you do when they run out of? I mean, can you recycle the batteries to where they turn into new batteries again?
Yeah, and I'm trying to think if it was on our show or somebody was talking about the blades on the big wind generators, the windmills or
turbines.
Turbines, yeah. Where you have to worry about getting windmill cancer. But
I've not heard about that.
Oh, you haven't heard that?
No.
Seriously?
No, I haven't.
Well, it was a comment made by former high-level
Republican
executive.
friends?
Yeah.
Is his name Clay Higgins?
No, it wasn't Captain Clay, but I'm sure he'd probably go along with it. But but they are recycling those. I mean, they may not have for a while. I mean, they had this big, like a football field or something like that. This was the picture. I don't even know if it was a real picture or something that somebody had just, Photoshopped. Amazing what you can do with Photoshop. But and they were burying, because those blades, some of those blades they're
magnificent.
Oh yeah, well they're
I've seen them driving down. I've seen them as a load on the back of
a truck. Yeah,
truck, and they're so long.
Oh, they are. Yeah, and but they can be recycled, because there's, I think they were actually cutting these up and mixing them into concrete because the fibers and stuff helps reinforce the concrete. But, I guess, and I'm a firm believer in recycling, believe me.
Me too. With a name like Roloff? Mark Pope made a joke about that because I was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was talking about how that was the only argument issue that my husband and I didn't agree with. I mean, I was always been a big recycler, and he thought it was a waste of time. And Mark, I always mentioned that to Mark Pope, and he said, well, that's kind of funny. He'd probably turn over in his grave to know that Roloff is some kind of a thing that, they collect things in and recycle them. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll just take your word on that one.
Yeah.
But
a little embellishment, but hey.
Huh?
Maybe a little embellishment.
Yeah.
Might not be that romantic. Anyway.
Well, I guess that's pretty much in the eye of the beholder too. But so What all we have? No voting coming up anytime soon around here that I know of.
Well, they're still working on the redistricting, from what I understand. Where they did the
good point.
show, and there's all sorts of reasons why certain folks do not want to make any changes to make it more accessible. There is a group that really just wants to remain where they can assure themselves a vote, which
Right.
that I wish that they had some sort of a random way to do the mapping, without human intervention, that would really take it and make it equal. And I'm assuming that they do have that capability, but there's a strong resistance. And I don't really see it.
I mean, if you don't
Right.
if you don't have anything that that most people are sane people want, then you have to make it to where it makes it difficult for them to vote. And you can definitely bias a particular district to where, you get the result that you want, but, it's another way of disenfranchising people, which
I really wish they'd take the human element out of it. Just make it where it's reasonable, to just take an area where it has a kind of a similar population count, and that they utilize some sort of thing that shows sort of a percentage of how many people vote, in that area, and just block it, making it that's a district, and where it's not, it's not convoluted to where it looks like you've got some sort of a checkerboard.
Yeah. I've seen those.
I have too. Scott used to be like that. In fact, the city itself is kind of like that. It's interesting. They do have islands of incorporated areas. And then they have these donuts of places that aren't incorporated around
Really?
them. Yeah. One instance is like Il Decon, the little area that's right by the road that is the education center has managed to be annexed. But the whole apartment thing around it, at least in a U, is not. So they've disenfranchised the people in the apartments.
What they're not able to,
they don't want, I don't think they want the cost or the population to be part of their makeup. It's unfortunate. It has changed from, it used to be a high crime area, and I think now it's just poverty.
Yeah. Which of course
families that don't have a lot of little families that, are day laborers, the parents, and they just don't have a lot.
Yeah, that contributes to crime.
Not always. Not if you have services that meet the needs, or try to have services that meet the needs. And they had gotten approved for USDA commodities and stuff.
Oh yeah,
that helped. But now the Catholic Church has taken back the St. Joseph's Diner, which was where Second Harvest was doing, sending their chefs to do the frozen meals to distribute in our area, but they want it back. I don't know. It's like the nice thing to do.
Yeah.
Sort of. I don't know.
Well, everybody needs certain things. There's certain requirements for humans, like food, water,
Shelter.
clothing, shelter, just basic things. And, it's an indication of how good the economy is. When,
Inflation's going up. Does that mean the economy's better?
Well, but see, that's not really true. I mean, there are some things.
Saying.
There are certain things that are costing more.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want, inflation is a consistent rise in prices.
Mm-hmm.
But you have all this supply chain stuff, the inflation stuff. This is all engineered. I mean, it's like if you have
profit taking.
Well, it's profit taking, price gouging. There's a lot of, it's not exactly the same, but when there's a hurricane and,
right, and that's an offense that there's consequences if you're caught doing it.
Well, there are some consequences, but and that's the, and there should be. I can understand that if somebody's if they don't see themselves getting any gas for, a couple of weeks or a month or something like that, then they want to get whatever money they can get out of the gas they have.
Right.
But then on the other hand, that could be subsidized at the federal level because, all this is going to happen. It's like a big insurance policy, when you get right down to it. And when you have, natural disasters, just like in Tennessee and Kentucky recently.
Oh, man.
That's from what I understand, they had some of the companies there telling people if you leave, you're fired.
Well, that was the issue with that candle manufacturing place that was leveled by the tornadoes.
Yeah. And now that's...
they wouldn't have had any idea that was going to happen, but still.
Well, but nonetheless, if you have people that are worried, because it was, that's at the northern part of the line that came through when we were having our little running event.
Right.
Over here. And the northern part of that was some pretty severe weather. And, obviously,
that was
spawning, I don't know.
That was Saturday, but that was days after the thing went through Kentucky. Because I think that storm, that system, when it did all the damage, it was the Wednesday prior.
Was it?
I believe it was.
Well, I'm not sure. I thought it was the same system that we just caught some.
It has to, it takes its time.
Yeah.
We had wind that whole week though.
Well, it's, there's definitely, if people are going to build houses like they typically build them, they're going to be susceptible to wind damage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just engineering. They do stuff, like around here where you have the different things to hold the joists and rafters and studs and everything, make it a little bit more solid construction, but it's only good enough for so much wind. And that's
right. It's interesting that cob stuff that was used in North Carolina that I went and took part in that workshop. It was all sand and rock and clay and organic, and it was all mixed. And so the walls were like that thick.
Yeah.
And you could dig out the area that you wanted to put the wires.
Huh.
So it was like solid. It was like there were no studs.
Right.
There were some beams in it, but not the same as like the houses. It wasn't every 16 feet or so. It was more like every 8 feet.
Well, mean, of course, there's also steel construction too.
That's what they used. They used steel or bamboo,
Oh yeah.
thick bamboo. It was strong, real strong.
Well,
Anyway,
that's
it was pretty cool. I like it.
yeah.
Yeah. And then they finished it with like lime.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
And coconuts.
No, not that kind of lime. The LYME lime.
No, it's LIME, but I was just thinking about the song.
Okay,
With
I
the
know
lime
that
and the
song.
coconut.
I may not know the old movies, but I know a lot of the old
Yeah.
songs.
Well,
It's the doctor song.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, I hope that, speaking of doctors, I'm hoping that nobody has to go to the doctor that's listening to our show, and that we all stay safe from the Omicron.
Omicron, or as our president says,
I don't think that's a Greek
Omicron.
letter, is it?
I think it is, yeah.
I
Omicron, I believe. Yeah,
know
it's,
Omega.
yeah, it's not that, but it's about 2/3 of the way through the alphabet, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on Greek alphabet.
Yeah, I had some interaction with a friend from South Africa, and asked about that virus, and she said she's not worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm hoping you don't have to be worried. But
Yeah, I saw something today about, all these people saying, oh, it's a fraud, and I'm thinking, well,
I'm going to be on the safe side. I'm going to wear my mask. I'm going to wear my mask. Here it is. This is right. Keep it handy.
Tell that to the 800,000 people that have died as a result of it,
Yeah. Well, I mean, are they
fraud.
dying from it? I guess so.
Well, it's had an impact. There's no.
And the sad thing is that they're saying that some people who are fully vaccinated are still getting it.
Well, there's still some breakthrough, but it's, the severity is much less. Right, because the immune system is already primed to respond, which is a good thing, I think.
Let's wish everybody a safe and healthy holiday.
Yeah. Happy holidays, everyone.
And see if you can get out and see some of the cool stuff that's free. And if you feel like it, maybe you can go to some of these parks and take part in some of the crafts and things that are going on. And just be able to relax a little bit, get away from the stress. That's my ambition. That's my wish for the holiday. No, stress-free.
Yeah, well, I guess, they say sometimes holidays are very stressful, but may your holidays.
Yeah, I'll have to tell you about my toll road experience
Yeah,
the next
sounds
time.
Good. Okay.
When we had our event.
And of course, everybody needs to come to our Facebook
page.
site. Yes, our morning coffee on
AOC. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all.
And have a good one.
Happy holiday.
Yeah.